and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and this is the other bracelet that I made while I was out. And obviously, this one is just a bit more complicated than yesterday's, but it's not so complicated that we can't do it. So this one starts out with the dark reds over here. And it comes down and bounces out like that. Right? And then the dark blue over on this side comes down, bounces out, just gets like these three little knots over here, and it's there. All right, so it it's kind of a lot. Well, at least it starts out a lot like yesterday's. And I wish there was like a faster way for me to just sort of blaze through here and fill in stuff. But it's kind of not how it works. So that's the second color. Put in the blues. Oops. Second color. So these just sort of follow along the outside, do their thing. So this time, okay, so last time it was like the reds were winning every time. This time, it's the left side always wins. And that's true for like the whole bracelet. The left side is the side that wins. If I were to say double the pattern, then I would switch it. And mind you, like it was a huge concern for me to try to think of which way that this was going to go. So the alternative was that if we switched it up halfway through, what would have happened is the red would always be the larger side, right? Because it's, if you look at this, it's red on the left, and then if we change which one, like we did with the other bracelet, the red would have again been the larger of the two, which I mean, I knew that it wouldn't be wrong, but I kind of wanted the two colors to each have a go at it, at being the bigger one, kind of like yesterday's. So, I mean, it's little choices you get to make up for yourself. You want to change that on your own, go for it. I'd be curious as to hear why you thought to do it differently. Okay, so that's three. Here comes the fourth. So technically, I guess these bracelets are a bit longer than I normally do. Not even technically, they just are. They're longer. One, two, three, four, right? I didn't have any problem with running out of string or anything. This pattern definitely uses strings pretty evenly. So that's kind of helpful. Okay. Here we go. Seems like we're going faster this time around. I don't know. Hopefully I am. So far, everything. Oh, wait. Yeah, the magic happens in here. So yeah, I haven't messed this up yet. Okay. Do do do. Got a little bit scared for a second. I thought I had already made a mistake. Turns out I did not. All right, we can start here. We know this is that color. So yeah, this pattern came about, I keep telling everybody it was like 2/3 in. It might have actually have been sooner. I don't really know. But while I was making the bracelet that is what yesterday's pattern was all about, um, while making it, I was like, hey, if I, you know, change the direction here, this could be really, really cool. And it would be different. And then I'd have to, and and as I'm still making the first bracelet, I'm working out in my head things like, you know, what happens to the center line, and what do I do, um like how does it end, and what happened, just all um the little things that you're actually able to see in the pattern itself. So yeah, I was working on that. So there's the lightest of the bright colors, and next is the lightest of the cold colors. And it's funny, like the what makes this one different is in the stuff that we haven't even filled in yet, which is kind of hilarious. Ah, okay. And just do. Okay, now I'm trying to think of how it's the easiest way of doing this. All right. So this color here, this is the darkest red. This comes over, and when it gets to this one here, the center of the diamond thing, that's when it crosses over. Doesn't do it up here, it does it after that. And that's, you can follow this through. And that's how this gets to this side. And that's going to be true all the way along here. And again, the left side wins, so. Right, okay, so let's do that same with the blue. So this is here. So the blue came out, and it's where this one crossed over. And so now the blue is coming out on the left. And if you tried to do it, well, you could almost have done it when they first cross over. However, it just, I think, would have made it more confusing when it came time to do these center things. And since they have to do the center things anyways, it sort of made more sense to do the thing there. So, all right, so this is the second blue, right? And so this one is coming over and it's gonna go under. We're gonna do the blue one first. Because the blue does the bigger thing when it gets to this side over here, so. And again, this is just an arrowhead. I've just made it obviously more complex. And if you didn't see yesterday's video, the way that we got the teardrop loop came down to a very complex and silly sort of kumi that I had my wife do, where I split the strings, the hots and the colds, looped them together. So the darkest red was with the darkest blue, and the second was with the second, and all the way down. Went through them each, did the thing, and we did a kumi to the blue side and then a kumi to the red side. And yeah, that's how that worked. So it's this one now. So yeah, the kumi's pretty fancy on that. Obviously, if you didn't do it in the teardrop, it would be a whole lot easier. You could just separate out the hot colors and move them to a side and move the cold colors to the side. Basically, the crazy fancy kumi came from a conversation a while back talking about, you know, the difficulty of splitting colors and having different things on different sides when you have the teardrop loop. And I was like, yeah, but you could still do a thing. So of course I had to show that you could do a thing. Yeah, so in this one, you are probably going to want to stay tuned because if you notice, the tassel ends on this turn out perfect with the blues on one side and the reds on the other. And that took some creative thinking towards the end. Kind of midway through the making of the bracelet, it kind of dawned on me that I did not want to have the tassels being a mix of hots and colds. And as I was getting closer to the end, my need to plot out a way to make that work out got stronger and stronger and stronger. Like I really needed that to work out. And it did. So if you hang around, you get to see how that works. So I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder. I am really, really hoping that we don't lose power. I think my recording stuff actually does it in a format that it doesn't corrupt the whole file, but it's always hard to get back to where you were. All right, so that one's all the way through. We are almost done with this. The next is this blue. Right. Now it's this sort of orange. You can see, like, I'm just sort of filling in as I go along, trying to be kind of quick about it. I don't want to make this video too long. There we have that one. All right. The next is this blue. This is like, at this point, um, well, it's the second lightest. In here, it kind of looks like a gray. I think the colors that I chose actually look a whole lot better than what we're dealing with here in the pattern. Goes there. And so that was this blue, so this is the red, or the, well, the hot colors. Kind of one of the lighter oranges. And we're getting into the last one. So light blue goes across. With it zoomed in like this, makes it so much easier for me to hit my little targets, these little smaller boxes with the mouse. It's not about seeing it, it's about just getting in the right spot when you click. Okay. And now the yellow. And again, there is magic that's going on that happens sort of after this part, as far as like where the colors are going to go. And again, it all comes down to those center squares and where the trade-off all happens. And notice I didn't add the ends to this, right? Because this one's actually going to go that way. That's going to go over there. And I know it all seems a little bit crazy at the moment, but it'll all become clear in just a second. Okay, so this is the darker blue here. And when it comes to this one again, right, it's going to travel straight across, just like we were doing before, which is going to put it in the heart of where all of the hot colors are. Oh, and because the next one, well, we'll do it now. So this is the darker red. The darker red goes underneath here. And this is going to be really hard to see on the pattern. Like, I'm kind of glad you guys are here watching the video. Because I imagine, like, if you were trying to look at the pattern over on the website, you're going to probably find it a little bit difficult with these darkest ones to see which is which at this point. But this is the red, and the red gets the last one here, because of course it's changing, and this side wins. So that's kind of a thing. So these were the darkest. This is the second. And yeah. And you can see like the blue is filling in over here to the right now. And that's where that ends. So this is like the end of the bracelet now. It's this red here. And it cuts across. And it just makes this little thing right here. So it's the second darkest one is there. The darkest are in the center, and then it slowly goes through from the lightest to the darkest. And because we are filling in along the way, you can see that this part is kind of moving along really quickly, and you can really easily spot where all of the turns and stuff are. Yeah, so this is a kind of complex bracelet. This is not for beginners at all. Is it advanced? Yeah, a little bit, honestly. kinda. I think though, once you have the pattern and you can see where you have to turn, and now that you kind of understand like how where I put the change ups in it, I think that, you know, just having watched this video will make it really possible for you to just pick this up and give it a go. It was the blue that goes there. And then the yellow goes here. So there's our pattern. So you can see everything stayed over on the left-hand side. And over here, you can see how, you know, we went from the blues to the reds, and over here it's the reds to the blues. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I had a blast actually making the bracelet itself. Pattern, that's a bit more work. So I want to thank my Patreon supporters who make all this possible, as well as my YouTube members. You guys are really new to the whole game, and I gotta say thank you for joining. That's awesome. We will be back next week with, I don't know what, something different, something fun, hopefully. Yeah. Oh, we have live stream tomorrow, so be sure to check that out as well. That'll be 10 p.m. Singapore time. So yeah, don't miss that. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.